Places that you could have lived in the world. Why Asia, and would you do it again?
This was my third trip back to Asia, and the reason why it was Asia is just such a fascinating place. It really is. It's extremely fast paced. The cities are massive, um, and there's just a lot going on and a lot happening. It's a very fast growing place in the world. The economies are booming. China is just a massive place in general. So, it's just a very exciting place to be around. And some places in Asia are cheap. Some aren't. Depends where you go. But I think if I want to spend any long term place anywhere else that's not in the States, I don't think I would go to Asia again. I think there's a lot of really cool things happening in the Middle East, in India, in Africa. There's far more interesting places to see at the moment.
So you are currently right now stateside, right?
Yeah, I am currently in New York.
You're in New York, okay. And it sounds like New York in the background.
Yeah.
I'm from there, so I understand. Where is next for you?
Where's next for me? Well, I think that I've never really defined what I'm doing in my life based on the location that I'm in. I've always been trying to figure out what I'm passionate about, how I want to contribute to the world, what is the work I want to be doing. And right now for me, I've worked with two startup companies, worked on different projects that I've either owned or co-owned, and that's all been really, really exciting. But I think looking farther down the road in my life personally, there's some really big things I want to do, and I need to get some experience working with brands and strategic planning in different areas. And so either way, the next steps for me is probably to be working with or consulting with an agency like an advertising agency or a brand strategy firm. There's a lot of companies that are doing some really awesome things that I want to be involved in, and that's what I'm doing here in New York.
How different is it for you? Right now you're in New York City, right? You're in Manhattan?
Yeah, I'm in Soho right now.
All right. So how different is it for you to go from living in Asia to being in Soho? There's certain creature comforts that we all get used to. There's things that we take for granted, like having Wi-Fi and, all of those things. Do you come back from Asia, let's say, and come back into Manhattan and go, oh, God, thank God I've got an internet that works. I don't have, other than maybe braving the subway, I don't have to worry about any political unrest, or or do you not see it that way? Or do you get back and you go, okay, this is just different?
Well, it's funny. Actually, I get back here to New York, and I'm like, oh man, I can't take a taxi for 50 cents anywhere anymore.
Interesting.
So it's sometimes reversed, but I think it goes both ways. I think anytime you travel, if you're from a place that you're comfortable with, you're going to miss some of those comfortable things. But I think that's one of the reasons I enjoy getting up and moving around. I think it's to experience new things and get a different perspective of the world that you live in. I mean, for example, in Bangkok, I've never cooked a meal in my life over there. I've just either eaten in restaurants or off street vendors. I think you learn to adapt, and adaptability, I think, is one of the most important things you can learn, not only for travel but for life in general.
Okay, so you read The 4 Hour Workweek, and I'm sure that you had a vision of living the Tim Ferriss lifestyle design type of life. How close was it from what you read in the book to you actually doing it, or did you not see it that way?
I don't know if I really saw it that way. It's interesting. I think the biggest thing that appealed to me in the book after I read it was how resourceful Tim was. I was never really into the idea of a 4 hour work week per se, because quite simply whatever I was doing, I wanted it for work. I wanted it to be awesome, and that's something I didn't want to cut down to 4 hours a week. So, my life now consists of working full time on what I love, and when I can, as I did last year, just going and doing whatever I wanted to. If that meant having free time to be in another city or experience another culture or meet some friends and across the country, great. If it meant holing up in an office with 5 brilliantly creative people for 80 hours a week, fantastic. So,
what do you think, in your opinion, is missing in that book? Because what the sense that I got from you in your blogs and brief conversations and stuff is not that you didn't like the 4-hour work week, but you don't seem to me to be the kind of guy that is a lifestyle designer, quote unquote. You're not in a bat cave, blogging about the accolades, giving the accolades to Tim Ferriss. It seems like you took it for what it was worth, but there's a part where it feels like maybe there was something that wasn't communicated properly in that book. Am I sensing that right or not really?
Yeah, I think you are. I mean, I do have a little bit of a bone to pick with quote unquote lifestyle designers. Not all of them, but I do have a lot of respect for Tim Ferriss, and I like him. But I think in general, I think his whole book is a little misguided. Actually, I think the concept being sold is make passive income so you can do what you want, and it separates work from life in a very big way. And the manifestation is clearly obvious. I mean, you have a bunch of travelers now that are doing the work they've always done. They're writing, or they're doing SEO work, or web design, or IT. They're selling ebooks, and they're doing this as they jaunt across Asia or South America. And maybe they're just outsourcing half of it, and working half the time, and calling that lifestyle design. Mm-hmm. And frankly, I think it's boring bullshit. Really,
okay.
I mean, lifestyle design is doing what you love and making it valuable so others will pay for it. And I don't buy the idea that people just love travel. I think deep down, what people really want to contribute something meaningful to the world. And I think the so-called lifestyle designers that quit their cubicle job and now blog about the travels weren't contributing anything in their cubicle, and they really aren't contributing anything while they travel either. So all they did in essence was change latitude. Exactly. I mean, his book is great when it comes to resourcefulness and building a company, time management, etc. I mean, stuff I learned from him, I incorporate every day. But I think it completely misses the actual life design part of doing something meaningful. I mean, Tim Ferriss isn't backpacking around Argentina anymore, enjoying his passive income cafes. He's writing more books. He's an angel investor, among other things. He's doing things that are meaningful and that contribute to the world, things that he loves. So there are far more ways to live life than in a cubicle. And I think, if you're resourceful and creative and focus on doing what you love, you'll figure it out. Mm-hmm.
So the biggest question that everybody has is, how do you generate the income while you're partying abroad, or you're living this, sort of lifestyle? However you slice it, whether you decide that you want to move to Rome, or you want to live in Asia, or wherever it is, there's always the issue of money. So we're going to talk a little bit about, I know that you were a partner on creating some information products that help finance some of the income, help finance some of your lifestyle design while you were out in Asia. And we're going to cover that in the second half of our interview for the GetJetSetMoney.com members. And if you're not a member, just go to GetJetSetMoney.com to sign up. But Seth, before we go over to the member area, if someone wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way that they can do it?
They can reach out to me on Twitter. I'm on there like 25 hours a day. So it's just at SHOSKO, or at Shosko if you want to.
At Shosko. I like that. Okay, cool.
That's it for this episode of the Lifestyle Design Confessions podcast. Remember, if you want to get a jump start on creating the income to live your jet set life using our proven system, you can claim your risk-free trial membership to Jet Set Money by going to getjetsetmoney.com. And remember, excuses are over. It's time to live.